Now I will show you how to control at a channel level. One thing we have to do is how many mics are being used. That we have to be precise on that. Why I am saying is, when there are so many channels, they all pick up some sound. So if we don't need some channels, the best thing is to mute them. On this mixer, if you mute, you get red color, and on this mixer, if you mute, there is no color. That's what we have to do. Suppose we have only one speaker on the stage, who is talking on the podium. That means we all we need is one mic on the one mic to be on. So we can connect to this mixer. In that case, unmute. This is. Let me mute that. So connect to channel 1 here, and then unmute. It's live. But here, if you want to make it live, you press this. Now channel 1 is live, and all other channels are not live. And if you are connecting with this, from this mixer to this mixer, we don't have to control anything. The master control, whatever we have set, it will be at that level, and we are not touching that. Individual channel, using the fader or using this individual controls, we can control its volume. So in summary, this is what we have talked. There will be 2 mixers, and this is the main mixer. I think earlier I said this will be the main mixer. We changed our mind, and this is going to be the main mixer. This is the supplement mixer, and we use the supplement mixer to connect our hanging mics and all other auxiliary feeds, like what is coming from a laptop, or what is coming from our wireless receivers and stuff like that. We will have 2 wireless receivers. We have maybe 1 or 2 computers, maybe one whatever coming out of the projector and stuff like that. So we will use the 9 channels for hanging mics, and the remaining 6 for other auxiliaries. We will take the output from them. We will be taking the outputs as a mixed signal in 2 lines, and we will feed to that our main mixer in channels 9 and 11. 9 and 10 are together, and 10 and 11 and 12 are together. So we will use these 2 channels for the feed coming in 2 lines from this mixer. And the 8 mics inputs we will use for all the mic input needs. It can be vocal concert. In that case, we may have 4 mics, or it can be somebody speaking. In that case, only 1 mic. So we will connect those mics to here through the snake, which I have explained earlier. The two lines coming from this mixer, we will use these 2 controls to turn them, all of them off or all of them on, using a master switch here.
And the dedication figure 9 and 10 will be dedicated
so
for.
Yeah, this 9 and 10 line will be dedicated to the combined output coming from this speaker for all the hanging microphones. So there will be 9 hanging microphones. All of them will be controlled by this one switch. So if you turn it off, everything is off. This last one, the 11 and 12 channel, is for the combined output coming from for all other auxiliary feeds, like computer, projector, or wireless microphones.
Yeah, and I'll focus on the buttons, and you say they don't need to touch it, right?
So in this mixer, generally you don't need touch anything, because we would have set up everything. Except if somebody, no, even hanging microphones, we would have figured out everything, and you don't have to touch anything.
Yeah.
So finally, we will show you now some of the auxiliary feeds, like wireless and the laptop.
Okay.
Give us a second. Yeah. So one of the auxiliary channel that we are going to use is from the computer. So in the laptop, whatever headphone or sound signal that's coming out. Some computers have extra port, but generally whatever that headphone port, we connect this end to that.
Yep.
It's visible, and then it goes to a DI box just to change the signal strength, and using my cable we are connecting to channel 10 here. So all the laptop signal is controlled in the channel 10, this one. If it is too loud, we can control the using the fader. The previous 9s, as I said earlier, are used for hanging microphones. So 10 is used for laptop, and the feed will go to the main mixer, and that will go to the speaker. So as you may have figured out already, so when we don't need laptop input, just mute it.
Okay.
So next is wireless, second auxiliary, that is wireless component, and Sangana is going to explain that.
Sure, Sudhakar. So this is the Voco Pro equipment. Has 4 channels, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Each has a color code. Each corresponding to the color code. Example, blue here has a corresponding blue channel here. So there are volume controls in the front. Again, I would usually keep them to the high and then set them ahead of time. There will be 4 mics like this, which are the wireless mics, and so each mic has a channel, and there's on off button. For one time when you set this equipment up, it's all set. So the output of this is a 1/4 inch cable, which is going to go as channel number 11. As Sudhakar explained, channel 10 is going to be the equipment going to the DI box to the computer. Channel 11 is going to be for the wireless equipment. One thing to, when you give away the mics, please remind the users the up button shows the on.
So hold modern. Yeah. Just
Right. The up button shows on, and if you pull it down, it becomes off. And request them to switch it off as soon as they're done with talking. There are 2 parts to it. One is discharging the batteries, and most importantly, if they leave it on and if they start talking, right, it will catch a lot of offline conversations, which will be, may not be worthwhile sometimes, because that may interrupt somebody else's singing or something like that. So 2 parts, right? One is the letting them know that the wireless equipment should be off as soon as they're done, and maybe they should hand over this equipment back to you to avoid they lost it in the way.
and also
Yeah. So as earlier, because this is channel 11, so you control the volume on the channel 11 fader, and if you want to turn it off, you mute it, and when you need it, you unmute it. We will use channel 12, 13, 14 for other auxiliary feeds. Like we will have one more wireless set, and we may have something coming from projector, so we'll use the remaining channels here.
excellent.
So one last thing, this mixer is capable of having effects. So generally most of the vocal singers, they want reverb. So there are some controls here, and there are additional controls per channel here. It's a little bit complicated to explain in this video. We will show it when it is needed at work.
We'll be using the Bose L1 series as monitors. So we plan to keep them pretty close to the 2 of them, pretty close to the where the artists are going to be performing. So example is, the stage has a set of artists playing, and there'll be one on the left hand side, one on the right hand side, and we do anticipate that or we plan that we're not going to make any setting changes with respect to those equipments. The output of the Yamaha EMX 5000, one of the lines will go to the Bose equipment. So we don't have to touch that equipment, but however, it's going to be, if somebody requests some kind of increasing the volume or decreasing the volume of those equipment, then only we need to take a look at it. Otherwise, we don't anticipate any changes to that.
Thanks, Sudhakar, for explaining the whole setup, and Sangana also.
That's it.
Yeah.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ
that's-
ಕೊಡಿ, turn off ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. And this is our official videographer.